Hey
Hey,
everyone, welcome. Hey
hey,
Amy,
good evening, everyone. Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm doing great. So welcome to the live stream. If you're
Between
like
two
us,
turns.
yeah, between two turns, that's exactly right. This is something that we've been excited to do for a long time. We did a little trial run last night with our runner-ups. Amy, did it think it went all right?
I think it went great. I mean, we had our wheel worked, our cameras and mics worked. So in my mind, that's a success.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of moving pieces, but no, it went really good. We were glad to do it. So, with that, I'm Nick Gallo. So I am your host and a member of 10 Motorsports, and my co-host here, Amy.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Amy Burgess. I guess I am a co-owner and founder of 10 Motorsports. I I kind of had this brainchild, what, 2 years ago, right, Nick? Is that around the time frame?
Yeah,
I was actually down there racing at Sebring, Florida, and on the drive home, all 16 hours of it, I kind of had this idea of 10 Tenths Motorsports as a fun project, for us and all of our friends to kind of get together. So that's where it came from. So, I mean, I guess our main goal of 10 Tenths is, we want it to be, very community based, very educational, especially for newcomers. Cause, like me, I've only been racing for a couple of years. And I just told Nick, like right before we went live, that I was so nervous on my first track weekend. I actually taped my numbers on my door backwards. So, like, we know exactly how nerve wracking it can be and scary to, come to your first event. So, we want to kind of make it a little bit less intimidating. Um, so that's why we're here. We want to educate, all of our customers and track goers and friends, and then also just kind of help keep the community together because it is hard. Financially it is tough. So that's kind of where I came from with the idea.
yeah, yeah. No, and Amy and that group of friends brought me on board, which I was very thankful for. So yeah, like I was telling Amy, my first track weekend, I just drove. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't have any friends tracking with me. I didn't have any experience, so I just drove to the track with a chair in my car. Didn't have a torque wrench. Didn't know I needed a torque wrench. Didn't have any sunscreen. Just sat out in the paddock on the blacktop by myself. But I was really fortunate. I was excited because I had bought a new BMW M4. I didn't know anybody, so I was just paddocked next to some guys, and they just like, hey, what's going on? They talked to me. They were very inviting, and that was a different experience for me because I came from a lot of like cars and coffee and car meets where it's like people go and they visit and they don't really like interact naturally, at least is my experience, right? Whereas on the track people feel like there's everyone's part of a community, everyone's working, everyone's putting in the wrench time, everyone's putting in the money, their time away from their families, those sort of things. So it really does feel like a community. And 10 tenths, I remember whenever I started hanging out with this group of friends, what became 10 tenths, everyone was really inviting, and it just really changed what track weekends looked like for me. So I appreciate, part of our values is that community aspect, and Amy's done a good job of cultivating that as has the whole team. So with that, we just want to thank you everyone for joining. We're really excited to do that giveaway, so stay tuned for that. But we're just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what our season, a little bit more about 10 tenths, and also what our season is going to look like. So let's go ahead and move into our season recap.
Ah, yes, the pink car. Yeah, so I love my Cayman so much. I actually started in a Subaru BRZ, and then I moved to this Cayman that you see here. I bought it. Actually, a shop and bought it in New Jersey called Body Motion built it at the time, and I bought it out in New York. Did a few changes to it to make it more race legal. But the biggest highlight for me last year, I really had a very light track schedule. And part of that is because sometimes you have accidents on the track that, take away from your track funds. These things happen. So my season got cut a little bit short. But really, my main goal for last season was really just racer development, driver development. I have some projects for the car that I'm going to do this off season, which is super exciting. We can certainly talk about that later. But my goal for this last year was really racecraft. And that's, you have to think so far ahead. It's not just, oh, I see opening, I'm going to take it. It's, you're strategizing and thinking 2 3 4 laps ahead. So that was my big goal, and just kind of not so much focus on lap times, but when I'm done with the race, go back and reviewing video and seeing like, oh, that was a great opportunity. I was patient and waited till the actual opportunity presented itself, and I took it and I was able to execute something in a safe manner. So for me, that was my goal for last year. And also, because my car is hot pink, I do have to highlight that every time I go to the track, the kids love the car, but especially the little girls, which is super, super cool because I feel like, the whole track community, yes, it's male dominant. We all know that. But everyone is so incredibly welcoming and very, very helpful. For me, from day one, I felt very welcome. So when I see a little girl at the track and she loves the car, like I'll let them, sit in it, take pictures, I'll let them put on my helmet. Like if that gets them excited about it, then, that kind of makes my whole day. So like last season, this one little girl, I actually race with her grandfather in PCA. He just moved over to my GTB1 class. Every race she will seek me out, and like her mom will send me photos of her like cheering for me on the sideline. So like that's super, super cool. So hopefully I get to see her again for the 2026 season, and I hope she likes my new livery because it still has a lot of pink in it, but it's not quite as pink as this one here. So
I love that story. I mean, I think we were all kids once. We all lusted after those race cars, and I know I didn't have an opportunity to be around cars like that. So whenever you have the ability to share that with children and kids and different groups is really awesome. So
absolutely. So, yeah. So, and my really cool new Apex wheels in Motorsport Gold also looks amazing with the
mm,
pink.
very nice, very nice. So we'll go ahead and move on to the. Here we go. Tell us about your rookie of the year.
Yes, my Rookie of the Year award with PCA. This, gosh, I was so incredibly excited. I did not see it coming. I had no idea I was going to get it. I was actually racing down at Sebring, and they were having the awards for the previous year's awards. So I was at the dinner, and of course, they saved this award for the last one, and they were like building it up, like they were talking about like, oh well, the person who received this award, they really, demonstrated, what we want to portray in PCA, that it's very community based, and that we're all out here to learn and have fun. And they're like, oh, it's Amy Burgess, and I lost it. I thought it was so cool. So um the way I so the, actually the reason that I won this award was because, obviously, as a rookie driver, you have a lot to learn for sure. And I made a point, like I love, talking to folks who have been around the block, the ones who've been racing for 10, 15, 20 years. Like I want to hear your stories. I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I want your advice because I'm going to go out there and learn it. But, if you could help me learn something a little bit faster, then by all means, I'm all ears. Um, so I had an incident my rookie year at Summit Point. It was just a racing incident. It was an honest accident. Wasn't a big deal, but I was so petrified because I had done something that I could have done better. And the first thing I did when I got back to trailer, I reviewed all the data, all the video, and then I went and talked to the Scroots. And then I actually had two additional phone calls after that with various people within PCA just to get their feedback. And I think they were just so relieved and impressed and happy to see a newcomer want to learn, not just be like, oh, that happened last race, no big deal. It wasn't my fault. But really, it's like, what could I have done better? What can I learn from this? And I carry that out to the best of my ability during every race because there's always something you can learn. There's always something you can do better. So having that mindset is actually what got me this award.
Uh, Incredible and well deserved. I will say one thing that all I think the whole team embodies, honestly, but especially you, Amy, is just leaving your ego, outside the car,
Which
and
is hard to
being
do.
able. Yeah, fair, fair. Yeah, but I mean, just really setting that aside and admitting when there's a mistake, which definitely is going to happen, and admitting there's more to learn, and understanding that there are people out there with more experience, and being having an open ear and an open mind to getting that advice. So I think that speaks a lot to your progression, and congratulations on winning that award.
Thank you.
So we'll go ahead. There we go. Thanks. And yeah, there.
Yes,
Ouch.
my whoopsie daisy. Um, so this was one of those great learning experiences. Actually, this didn't involve anyone else. So thank goodness. My biggest concern was, oh my gosh, did I ruin the race for anyone else? I was able to get off the track safely because my car is full of water, not coolant. So the track was totally fine. Everything was fine except for my poor car. This was a great learning experience. And actually, we did go back and look at data. Because this was one of those deals where my head did get to me a little bit. I was having a great race. I had a great race start. I started back of the pack because I had a really poor qualifying, and this was about 10 minutes into the race, and I had already progressed 10 to 8 spot or 8 to 10 spots. So I was actually doing really well in my run group, and I was like, ooh, like each lap's getting faster and faster, and the car feels great, and I feel great. And I'm like, let me push just a little bit more. And I did that every lap, and I was like, all right, let me push just a little bit harder here. And that's where I should have been like, all right, you know what? Things are going well. I have a good gap between me and the person behind me. Let me just drive and just focus and just calm down. But instead, in the heat of the moment, because you're like, ooh, I can go a little bit faster. And on my aim, for anyone who has an aim, like if you're doing really well in your lap and you see all those green lights,
I
you're like,
know
oh, let me
that.
push harder.
Yep.
Don't do it. So I saw all the green lights. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a new PB. And I got caught up in the moment, and all my judgment kind of went out the window a little bit. And I pushed this last turn a little too hard, and my car just didn't really quite hook up. And luckily, what I hit here is a tire wall. So really the damage, it looks worse than what it is, but most of it was cosmetic. So that was a huge learning, a painful and expensive learning experience for me. Like, okay, just because you are passing people and you keep going faster and you feel good, take a moment and be like, okay, if I push any harder, am I outside of my current skill set? Because I am still a new driver. So if I get into trouble, do I know how to get out of it? And in this instance, I knew I was in trouble about 2 seconds before I brushed the tire wall. And at that point, I didn't know how to fix it. And that was a learning curve for sure. But again, because I checked my mirrors immediately, I got off the track, didn't ruin the race for anyone else. There wasn't even a yellow flag. So really, no one even knew it happened until they got to the paddock and they saw me and they're like, What's
Oh,
going on here?"
yeah. How did you even get out of the race without any
Yeah.
incident? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Luckily there was a pull off spot, like right in the right spot. So yeah.
So let's take an opportunity to talk about safety equipment. So, what
Yes.
safety equipment were you running? And would you have changed any of it? Have you changed any of it?
So I am such a huge proponent for safety equipment. Even when I was in DE, I was still running, a full fire suit, proper shoes, gloves, all the fire underwear underneath the fire suit, which gets very, very hot in the summer. But I'd rather get hot driving than get burned. And then I have a helmet, I have a full Hans device, a 5-point harness, and then a fire suppression system in the car, as well as two nets on each side. So
Oh
the
wow.
car is absolutely decked out in all the safety gear. So when something does go wrong, I'm never in fear that I'm going to be hurt.
Have you made any changes since the accident?
Um, to the car, no. To the driver, yes.
Okay, fair.
Luckily, the car, once we got the body work set, and then I just had to replace that driver's side radiator and bracket. The car was actually fine. We did a few adjustments with the suspension because I do run JRZs, the active suspension, which is amazing. So we did do a few adjustments with that because this did happen down at Sebring. And who, if you've raced down at Sebring, you know that last turn gets very, very bumpy. So once I adjusted my suspension, then the car was a little bit, it was a little bit easier to hook up in that last turn, just unfortunately. Um, we learned that after the fact.
Okay, well, I feel like there are, I don't know, maybe I'm jinxing everybody. I'm not sure, but I feel like there's those who've crashed and those are that are about like their time is coming, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things like it's gonna happen eventually. Because you're trying to push your limits. It's just it's learning how to push your limits without doing it in an unsafe manner. And sometimes these things do happen, but when they do happen, make sure you have all of your safety gear. And then also try not to mess up the race for anyone else around you because it's not appreciated.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, I think we have one more graphic for Amy here. Ah,
This is a good example. So this is actually down at Watkins. And this is a prime example why, like, you always have to have your head on a swivel. I check my mirrors countless times, and you're always looking up because you don't know, like, even if everyone is driving with the best intentions, there could be something mechanical going on. So when I saw this car go off, and I know this driver, he's a fantastic driver and he's a very, very nice man, but he was having mechanical issues that caused this crash. And as you can see, like I have the car in front of me here, and then I have that yellow Cayman here, but then I can't just veer off to the right because I have another car here. So
I
you
see
kind of
that.
have to thread the needle. So you just
Yep.
have to be so aware of your surroundings. So that's part of, learning racecraft.
Man, that car that came up through the right side definitely didn't slow down for anything. They
Whoa,
were
whoa, whoa,
no,
full
I mean,
send.
yeah, full send through. They said that's my op.
Yeah.
But no, you can tell you and that yellow Cayman. That I mean, actually, if you look carefully, that yellow Cayman reacted twice because he started pulling right to avoid the crash, and
Mhm.
then stuck his line as that white car flipped through.
And then
So
unfortunately, the car who was right behind me actually hit that gentleman who kind of
oh
spun out there.
no.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, no, it was
But
gnarly.
but it is a really good example. I mean, you saved yourself by being really astute, checking those mirrors quickly, reacting quickly. I mean, I don't. It's hard to judge by the video, but I'd say you missed that bumper by 2 feet.
It feels like I missed it by inches. It feels
You
like
might
it
have
was, yes.
like you can see the corner going right past right where you're sitting.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
We
incredible.
actually watched that video a couple of times trying to, like, figure out how close I was to it. I honestly don't know. It was too close for comfort, though.
Oh, for sure. Well, I'm glad that you made it through. Do you know? I presume that driver was okay.
The driver was fine, even the car behind me who actually ended up hitting him, everyone physically was fine, just cars there were cars that got totaled in that one, so that part's unfortunate.
It's all again, accidents happen, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
it's in this sport. I know I've seen it. You know, when something happens, everybody gets concerned. Everybody wants to make sure that person's okay. Like it is a really caring community, and this is a good example of that. So
Absolutely.
well, I'm glad everyone made it out okay there. So all right, well, let's go ahead and move on to the Supra. So this is
Yes,
my
your
car.
track journey, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So this is my Supra, and this is the day that I picked it up. I bought it from a gentleman. The engine had blown. So basically, the direct injection, the injector got stuck open, washed out one of the cylinders, one of the 6 cylinders. The engine overheated and blew the engine. It actually cracked the piston. So on this engine, the crank is the connecting rods are forged, but the pistons themselves are not forged. So we can go ahead and move to the next graphic there. So we rebuilt it, put the engine back in, and this is my first day of testing. So I got the car out there, did put some wheels on it, got the suspension on it, no aero. Um, so this was my first testing day. First time on track with the car. It went okay. I actually blew my charge pipe, so that wasn't great. I had to put that back together trackside. A buddy lent me some tools because I didn't have any tools with me, but I got that running okay. And then we were having some issues with basically I had no TPMS sensors. So I had the wheels installed without the TPMS sensors. Guess what? The Supra won't let you turn off traction control with the TPMS sensors. So I was running around the track, bumping off of traction control everywhere I went, even down the straights. Sent these logs to my tuner, and he was like, "What is wrong? Like, how are you hitting traction control just going down the straightaway?" Um, so lesson learned. These new cars, everything is a sensor. Everything matters. So I got that corrected. We can move on to the next graphic there. Finally got some aero put on the car, suspension dialed in, and there I changed out the hood because I was putting a hood vent in it, trying to deal with some overheating issues. So before I had my intake manifold on, basically oil temps were overheating, water temps were overheating, IATs were off the charts. So I added a hood vent and I added that intake manifold and got everything managed there. So we can go to the next graphic. And the whole time I'm trying to put this car together, 4 time trials. So that was always the goal. I took all of last season practically to get the car from non-running condition back in like probably February last year, up to track ready and competition ready, really. And so now I got the aero, got the wheels, got the brake pads, got the suspension, the exhaust, the intake manifold, the charge pipe, the new turbo, turbo shield, like all the stuff set up. So we're ready to go. I passed my TT license, and then competed for the first time in the NASA fall finale at Summit Point. So that's what this picture's from. And actually, if we move to the next picture, that's also there. But of course, the issues never end for me. Which is okay. It's all part of it. With a new build, something like this, my transponder, brand new transponder, wasn't reading. So John Felton actually lent me like an older one, and got me running. But I was actually parked up here in this picture, parked up at the timing booth, trying to get that sorted out.
It's always something.
Always
Always.
something. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So I mean that was kind of my journey last year. In a nutshell, in terms of trying to get the car together and getting myself put together in terms of getting ready for competition and this season upcoming. But So now that I'm already set, now it's all about actually chasing that time, optimizing, looking at data, refining, consulting the team, making smaller changes now. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, and I think car development is half the fun. Like, oh, I mean, of course, Kyle, he can really geek out on car development, but I'm starting to dive into, different things I want to do to the car. And, like I have a test day coming up in a couple of weeks because I did like a proper alignment and proper quarter balance. I've never quarter balanced my car before. So I'm super excited to get it on track and see how it feels. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, yes. So I didn't really cover that, but I appreciate the journey. I'm kind of a gearhead. I'm in IT, so my head already kind of thinks in terms of ones and zeros a little bit. Um, but yeah, so trying each part and making each change and understanding the implications and learning about things like suspension and dampening and alignments, and all this is new to me. So I had never really modified a car before this Supra. Wheels, tires, brake pads, it's very simple stuff, but never anything this extent or to this extent. So this is all new territory for me, and I'm excited to be on that journey and trying to document it both on the team social media, which we should talk about a little bit, but
Mhm.
also my personal social media, trying to share that experience because I imagine there's a lot of folks, you get a new part and you're like, why am I slower? Or why isn't this working the way I want? Or, what impact did this really make? And another thing I'm learning a lot about, which you could probably appreciate, is how everything works as a system. You cannot make any one change in isolation and not expect it to change other aspects of your build. So
Yeah, no, 100%. I remember when I first got aero put on my car and even just adjusting aero from track to track and then basing it on the weather, crazy. It makes such a huge difference. Any little tiny tweak, you just and what's really difficult is actually coming in from whether it be like a TT or a DE or a race session and be able to articulate like, well, the car was oversteery here, it was understeery here. Like in the straightaway, it felt so like it's hard to remember that actually. So, like,
yes.
I'm thankful I have a radio in the car so I can feed back whatever it is I'm feeling in real time. Because if you ask me to give you my feedback once I'm out of the car, I've completely forgotten all of it. So it's so hard to just remember all the checklist, like, oh, I made this change, so this is how it feels now. So I
Uh,
know that, for people who've been racing and driving for a long time, they have so much more bandwidth. For them, it's not a big deal, but for a new driver like me, like, I have a hard time with it.
I That's so relatable because basically I was trying to describe my car being under dampened to somebody. And like I knew the experience that I was feeling, but I didn't know how to verbalize it. And I
Mhm.
was like, I feel like the a down bounce. Yeah, see, yeah. So anyway, I figured out what that means and what it is, but it's the same thing. It's just, okay, so you have springs and you have dampeners and then you have adjustability. How do they all impact each other? And what does it mean? And how does it feel? Right. So if you're making a change for the first time, aero and suspension at the same time, well, how do you know what's impacting what? So that's really where I've leaned a lot on the team, right? To hey, you guys have put aero on multiple cars. Our team has modified multiple cars. You've done different spring rates, different alignments. So our team has all of that knowledge. So whenever we make changes or we need feedback or we're about to make a change, it's great to consult the group.
Yeah, 100%. And then to your point, like once you understand how everything works and why it works, when something goes wrong on the track, you can identify it faster. Like, oh,
Yes.
like something in, the driver's side rear feels off, like something feels squishy. In my instance, it was because of a little seal on my strut had blown and like all the
Uh,
fluid was out. So like during certain turns, the car felt totally fine, but during sharp right-handers, the car just felt really squishy. So just like understanding how things work and why, it's so crucial.
yeah. And then learning eventually, hopefully, how to talk about what
Yes.
you're doing, what you're feeling, and what it means. Yeah, my car's squishy.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's only squishy sometimes. So
Yes, intermittent squish. I get it.
yes, the intermittent squish. Yes.
Intermittent squish. So, Amy, what are you looking for, or what are you looking forward to for next season?
So next season, I am very excited. We have, well, I'll be at Summit Point in a couple weeks. That'll be a great test weekend, just to make sure that the car still turns and that I remember how to turn it. But then we also have Road Atlanta on the books. We have Watkins Glen. Watkins is a favorite. I love Watkins. NJMP. But then my bucket list track in November is Coda. So I
Ooh,
plan on making the trek down to Austin, Texas in November. So that'll be the highlight of my season.
that is so cool. So
Yeah,
we haven't talked about this, but I actually know an instructor, Porsche instructor that works Coda. So I'll have to get you linked up. His name's
please do.
Dino. Yes. Did Coda go private?
I heard that they did, and actually, I was worried that PCA wasn't gonna be able to run there anymore, but it's on their schedule. So I figured when I first heard that they went private, I was like, oh man, I missed my window of opportunity to drive that track. And then when I saw it on the schedule like a month ago, I'm like, done. Even if I don't race anywhere else this season, I am racing at Coda because I'm worried next year it won't be an option.
Hopefully, PCA keeps that as an option for you.
Yeah,
Coda's on my bucket list, so I'm very excited for you.
very, very excited. Yes. How about you? What do you have up for your 2026 season?
So yes, running more or less the entire NASA time trial schedule.
That's gonna
So
be a
I'll
cool
be
schedule.
it's pretty full. I don't plan to go down to Sebring for nationals, but I'm gonna try to run every event. So we're doing VIR here in March. April is Summit Point, and then May is Hyperfest, which will be a party for sure.
It always
S-
is.
yeah, yeah. You don't want to go?
I'm not gonna go this year.
Uh,
It just it there's between that and Road Atlanta and then Watkins Glen, it's just
Sure.
too
You have a
much.
lot more travel. You have a lot more travel.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for Hyperfest. I think that's going to be an awesome time. And then yeah, so then the rest of the season, which I don't have memorized, but yeah, so just back and forth to Summit, and then I think maybe New Jersey is on the New Jersey Motorsport Park
Mhm.
is on the calendar. Never been. So
I love New Jersey, especially since they did the repave. I think it was a year and a half or 2 years ago. So I never drove it before the repave. So I can't speak to NJMP before that. But ever since the repave, like I've been there what 2 or 3 times now. I love NJMP. I think it's great.
yeah, as well, we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting out there. So well, before we move on to team news, quick reminder, we have a giveaway coming up. It's
Yes, we
not too
do.
long. Yes, we do. The grand prize winner. Amy, what do we get for that grand prize?
I actually don't know, Nick. You never told me.
That's not true. It's not true at all. We're giving away a $250 gift card. That's anything in
Oh,
our
that's right. You
catalog.
you did tell me that, yes.
It's also all over our social that you've been sharing. That's
Well,
okay.
you know.
I get it. I get it. You're busy putting liveries on your car, which looks amazing.
Right?
I'm sorry that we don't have that to share. We'll get it posted back out on our social media. Look at 10 Tenths Motorsports on Instagram. You can see Amy's livery, her car, our current build, the whole team. But yes, so we're doing a $250 giveaway. That can be to anything on our catalog. So we're talking, help me out here. We got brake pads, suspension of all types,
Wheels,
aero, wheels,
exhaust,
exhausts. Ooh,
big brake kits,
yes, big brake kits.
big brake kits. That is on my list of upgrades eventually, by the way. Yes, for
Me too.
sure.
Me too. That's going to probably be next season. But so the whole gamut, and we work with so many vendors. We've worked really hard to build the relationships to be able to serve our customers. So if you win the gift card, you're going to be able to apply that credit to anything that you need. We know when it comes to the aftermarket. Frankly, I think we really own the gamut. There's not really a lot that we can't serve or get a hold of. And really something we don't talk about a lot because it's not really core to our business, but we also have the capability of vendors for things like truck accessories. So if you need things for your tow rig, we can help you out with that, or even like motorcycles and things like that. We have access to that whole catalog. So
Well, and actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Nick, because I did want to highlight that. Actually, I was able to put a set of airbags on my truck, so that way when I tow the toy hauler, it levels out everything and it rides so much better. But also, I have terrible gas mileage in my truck, and so I actually had to order a larger gas tank so we can get like Titan gas kit, uh, not gas cans, gas tanks for your truck. Like, I
yeah.
swapped out my 35 gallon for a 55 gallon. So, I mean, we can get cool stuff like that for tow rigs and trucks that we really don't talk about.
No, not so much, but definitely, that's really compelling. I heard that that your fuel tank came in a pallet, and yeah, yeah. I mean, it had to have been a really big tank. Do you already have it installed?
Not yet, because the weather hasn't been great. Like,
That's
I
true.
I got it right before that snowstorm, and, like, today was like, the very first nice day, and we didn't wanna crawl underneath the truck. We actually kinda wished to, like, to enjoy the weather. So, the
100%.
install will happen, definitely before we take the bigger trips this season.
Sure.
Otherwise, we're gonna have to stop, like, every 2 hours to fill up with gas, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I wanna know if you max out the fuel pump.
Oh, god.
Like, you'll have to ring up twice.
I am dreading how much that's gonna cost, but to not have to stop so often for fuel will be very
It's worth it.
nice, so,
It's worth it.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to our team news segment. Oh, we're already in it. Okay, great. So we've been doing a really big social media push. If you are on our social media, we've probably been harassing you. We were really excited to get everybody, involved with the giveaway. So we hope that you took the opportunity to join. Um, but also, we're really trying to pull that community together. We're really trying to build a following, and that's all an effort of being able to push whenever we do have product news, whenever we have team news. We want to be connected to you so that we're able to share that, and you're able to follow. Kind of, hey, these guys are at the track, and maybe I can come say hi, or like I need help with something. Will you guys be there? Or I'm looking for to like a consultation where our team is in we have instructors, so a lot of folks will come to us either for coaching or instruction. So basically, we really want to stay connected so that we're able to build that community and share things like that.
Yeah, 100%. And I've like Jeff Baker comes to mind instantly because at every single event that Jeff Baker instructs, he is such a fan favorite of all of his students. So if you're lucky enough to get Jeff in the passenger seat of your car, take full advantage of it. But even if you don't, if you see him around the track, I mean, walk up and say hi and ask whatever question you have. He's more than willing to help. So
Yeah,
he's great.
Jeff is always super welcoming. So he also drives a 987, and so does Allie.
So Allie drives a club sport and he essentially now drives a club sport. He was able to modify his car enough that it's basically a club sport as well. So I drive a 987 dot two. And then Kyle, before he sold his race car, was also in a 987 dot two, but his was manual, mine's PDK. So anytime we would do like the same event, comparing data was always fun. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure because of the shifting and yeah, that would be interesting to see.
yeah.
So something I have been excited to announce, we did bring on a new vendor. So we work with vendors of all types. So just to name a few, Varus, Apex, JRZ, um,
Soul.
Bemerworld, Soul. But we just brought in JRZ, so we're working directly with JRZ. So if you're looking for, a really excellent suspension package, a lot of our team is already using JRZ. Amy can talk about, yep, Amy can talk about her journey. I'm really looking to move the Supra to a JRZ suspension, but we're really excited to be partnered with JRZ. Do you want to talk about your suspension, how you got it, your tuning and installation and experience?
Yeah. So, and if anyone wants photos of the setup, I'm more than happy to share. So it is a three-way active suspension setup. So like there's canisters that attach to all four struts. There's actually an app on my phone, which is amazing because like if we're doing a test day, I can give my phone to Kyle or whoever's crewing for me. I can go out, do a test session, come into the pit, be like, oh, the car's feeling X, Y, and Z. They'll open up the app, make the adjustment, wait for like maybe 2 seconds, and then I am back out on the track to see how the adjustment, if it did what I wanted it to do. I will say that the customer support throughout my ordering process and setup process has been absolutely amazing. This gentleman named Brian was amazing. He, if I had any questions, any issues, I would text him. He would answer 24/7. Not that I would like text him in the middle of the night, but if it was a Sunday and I had a question, reach out to him. He was right there all the time. And actually, Kyle had the same setup in his car. And down at Sebring, JRZ actually sent out one, I believe it was two of their folks to actually come support us because I think we had some of the first cars stateside with this setup.
Great.
So, I mean, any questions that anyone has, again, or if they want to see photos of how we have it installed, more than happy to share that.
Yeah, yeah, appreciate that. They're really, really good. Partnering with them, we're excited to have that, and I'm excited to understand their offerings more and learn more about them. You had a few vendors that you wanted to highlight as well.
Yeah. So first, I want to highlight Apex. Just that they're so great, and I love their customer service is always amazing. Anytime I have an issue or a customer has an issue or a question, email them. I get a super quick response. But I love their lifetime warranty on their wheels. I am now on when I got the car, I had 2 sets of older Apex wheels, and now I run 2 sets of the forged Apex, which I love them and they're gorgeous. And then I just ordered another set for my street car, and then
Oh,
I got a set for my mom too. So, like,
yes.
we have lots of Apex in our family. I absolutely love them. And their forged wheels are so light. They're so nice. But then I also wanted to highlight Soul Performance. For those who know John Gatos, he is absolutely amazing. If you've ever met him trackside, he is such a character. I love John. Anytime I have a question, he is so easy to get in touch with. And actually, my header on my car was cracked. I
Ooh,
sent it back to him, no questions asked, repaired it. We had it back so fast and back on the car.
I love
Um,
that.
and actually, I'll have my new Soul exhaust it should be installed. I'll have it in about 2 weeks, and then we'll go ahead and get it installed before our first test day. But that's a great thing about Soul. They're located right in Pennsylvania. So actually, I have visited their shop before. Everyone I met up there is super, super nice. They're all very down to earth, and they're all very passionate about what they do.
Yeah, where in
Uh,
Pennsylvania?
I think it's Lancaster. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's so for me, it's like a 4-hour drive. So it was like an
Sure.
all day event for me to get there. But it was so worth it. Everyone I met was amazing. And
I
their
I had
shop
no
is
idea
just
they're
cool.
localish. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, if you're looking for an exhaust, but you're not really sure what you want or what you may need, do just like either call them or, email John. Like he is so knowledgeable and he's so willing to help. He was very instrumental when helping me pick out which exhaust I need and helping me get my header fixed, which that was another debacle. But
Oh.
yeah, no, they have been fantastic.
Okay. I want to talk about Varus. So Varus Engineering, they're in Indianapolis. So this year, part of the team went to PRI, so Performance Racing Industry Conference in Indianapolis, and we took the opportunity to go and to Varus directly. Really cool guys. Like they one thing I love about Varus, and that I don't think that that I've seen highlighted a lot is that they're all made in the US. So these guys are making manufacturing all this stuff more or less in Indianapolis, but also obviously in the United States. So we're talking the wings, the splitters. They do like brake cooling ducts, jack pucks, these sort of things. All of it is manufactured there. So they're a really really great team, excellent customer service, really easy to work with. And then seeing that tour, seeing them part of the manufacturer process, a lot of 3D printing, a lot of R&D, a lot of CFD. So they're really making really quality products, and frankly at a pretty good price point as well. So they're an excellent vendor. So just want to highlight these vendors that we're discussing today. We're able to source these things for you. So as 10 Tenths Motorsports, that's one of the value that we provide is that if you want either you talk to Amy about any Soul products or Varus products or Apex wheels, we have other wheel vendors, other aero vendors, but basically other suspension vendors. But we're here to help advise you on those sort of things. Like Amy and I were talking about earlier, we have the knowledge, having been through this and iterated on our cars, our driving, and the rest of the team's knowledge, being able to build a system for you that's going to work, that's going to perform well, and understand all the implications of making those changes. I know for me, Amy, it's tough to read forums or YouTube videos and say like, hey, this worked for this person. That part worked for this person on that track on that day, but that's so like 3 or 4 steps removed from yourself, right? So if you have
Mhm.
somebody that, you know that you can talk to, that you can see their car, you can see how it performed that day, and you have your car, then, I think that quicker feedback loop and that deeper understanding is really valuable because you can't really talk to a YouTube video. You can interact on a forum post, but it's really hard to tell without a face to the username, right? So I think that
100%.
I really believe that's where 10 Tenths excels at, in addition to all the other value and community that we're fostering. So,
Yeah, I agree completely.
all right,
Right. Well, I'm seeing the time, and I love how this conversation has really just kind of blossomed, and kind of time has gotten away from us. I realize we need to spin
I
the
think it's
wheel,
time.
right?
I think it is time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and bring up the wheel. So before we spin the wheel, I do want to thank everybody for participating. There's a lot of names on here. Being willing to share this post and tag your friends. Obviously, as a very small team that's trying to grow our social presence, it means a lot to us. And this is our small way of giving something back. So before we spin, we're going to spin in just a minute. Amy, do you want to give any words about 10 tenths, and basically what we're looking forward to for next year as a team and as a group?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, we're looking forward to expanding and reaching out deeper into the community, and growing our community, if you will, and our friends out on the track. So if you ever see us, please come up and say hello. But also, because we are a younger company, but we also want to make sure we focus on community driven and education. If there's something that you want to learn more about, or like if there's a topic that you want us to do on our next podcast, if there's an expert that we can bring in, we will. If there's something you want to cover, if you want to talk more about exhaust, or if you want to talk more about different suspension setups, and we can bring in an expert and have like a Q&A type thing, we are more than welcome to or we're more than happy to do so. But also, if there's a specific product that you're interested in, if we can't get it, reach out to us, and chances are we can get our hands on it. So we're definitely open to growing, but we want to grow in a way that best fits the community. So that's what we're striving for.
Yeah, and just one thing I'll iterate, definitely come talk to us, right? So if you see us, don't be afraid to approach us on the track. If you're a first timer or a professional racer, there's always a room to say hi, to learn from each other, even just to be in each other's presence and have a nice time. We often, whenever we are together as a team, try to cook and eat together. So, come join us for lunch. You'll
We
see
always
our
have snacks.
tents. We always have snacks. You're
Yep.
right. Yeah, we are a little notorious for that. You'll see our pop-up tents with the banner on it. So that's how you know to find us. You'll see our door cards. All of our cars are kitted out in our 10 tenths gear. We do have merch. So if you're looking for t-shirts, lanyards, hats, what else do we have, Amy?
Stickers,
Stickers, hoodies,
hoodies,
jackets,
beanies. Beanies were a big hit
beanies.
last year.
Beanies were a
Yeah.
big hit. It's getting
Yep.
warmer. It's not quite beanie season, and I'm happy about it, but we still got t-shirts. So if you're looking for merch, we had 2 winners yesterday for merch. So looking forward to distributing more of that. Let us know if that's something we can do for you. Well, without further ado, Amy, you think we
Yeah.
should spin this wheel?
I think it's time. Spin
I
it.
think it's time. $250. $250. If you're trying to buy $600 in brake pads, $250 off. Goes a far away.
That's right.
We do have some multiple entries here. We allowed multiple entries. Diamond Princess 0000. You are the winner.
All right.
$250 gift card. Yes. All right. Excellent.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's really awesome. Looking forward to getting that to you, and hopefully you get something cool. All right. Very good. Well, Amy, we're going to go ahead and move off of this. if we can go back to the side by side. Thank you for your time, Amy. We're looking forward to doing more of these. Optimistic here, but it could be once a month is really what we're aiming for. Amy, and we do have a larger team, so I did mean to describe that earlier. So we wanted to bring more people in, like Amy said, vendors, and other parts of the team to introduce you to. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, reach out to us.
Absolutely. All right, Nick. Well, thank you so much. It's been a blast.
It's been an awesome time. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.